I'm an ordinary girl. I'm pretty basic. And I'm honestly really comfortable with that now. I think it's easy for us to want to be extraordinary beings. We see these individuals on social media, on television, living these grand lifestyles. And because they're humans just like us, and because now the phenomena of the internet star has made us, I guess, think bigger, right? And that's great because honestly, if you go viral on the internet, chances are you're gonna make some serious money, and you're going to receive this popularity and this fame that maybe you've always dreamed of. But I kind of feel like in the grand scheme of things, we don't really care about the validation from millions of strangers. I think we just care about validation from people that we personally know and care about. A few months ago, I was so obsessed with being extraordinary. I was so obsessed with being this perfect person. The extremes that I would go to become this perfect person were actually really unhealthy and detrimental to my mental health and also my physical health. I just kind of got to a point where I was burnt out. I was just tired of being someone that I wasn't and working towards goals that didn't really actually resonate with me at all. I thought that I had to accomplish certain things in order to be considered worthy or valuable in society, to have left an impact in some way. And at the same time, as I was fighting for these things and working hard towards these aspirations of mine, I realized that I deep down inside don't really give a fuck, and that I just really did not care about what I was working on. I put so much pressure and so much work into things that didn't really matter to me, but I was lying to myself and telling myself that it did, so that way the work seemed worth it, if that makes sense. And it didn't, and it doesn't. I'm here to tell you, if you're someone like me where you have compared yourself to other people in your life, you've compared yourself to the celebrities or the internet stars that you see on social media and their lifestyles, and you feel this pressure to conform to this unrealistic and honestly probably unfulfilling standard, it's okay to literally not be famous. It's okay to not be popular. It's okay to have 100 followers on your Instagram. None of that matters, because none of that determines your worth or your value or what you bring to the table as a human being. We're at a point in society where we're now more interested in learning about the behind the scenes of these really popular celebrities, right? We want to know what does this famous wealthy person do? What is their morning routine like? And what are their hobbies outside of their business? It's because we want to connect with them in some way. It's just so crazy to me, because we're all about being extraordinary and having an extraordinary life, but a lot of the people that we look up to are literally just like us. They're ordinary people, and I can say this because I actually know very wealthy, well-established individuals. I've met some really famous people, and I see no difference between myself and these individuals. There's no point for comparison, but we do it anyway. I feel me trying to be what society defines as extraordinary, as in having a shit ton of money and having thousands of people follow you on social media and adore you, owning a home at 23 years old. I used to compare myself to people like that, and I would feel really bad about myself because I wasn't getting that attention, and I didn't feel like I was making that much of an impact with the content I was putting out because I wasn't getting all these views. And now I'm just who fucking cares? Literally, who fucking cares? Who cares, bro? who cares? I don't even care about being recognized on the street by random people I've never met. I don't care how many followers I have. Like, all I care about is that the people in my life and the people that I love and the people that love me know that I love them. Like, that's literally all I really care about. I care about connecting with people and sharing my story with people and people feeling comfortable enough with me to share their stories and finding middle grounds, experiencing breakthroughs, and learning and developing myself. Like, that's what I care about. I don't fucking care how many people witness it, you know? And like, this has become like a very angry rant, but like, honestly, that's how I feel. And once I realized that what society's idea of perfection and extraordinary looked like, I realized that's not what I want. Like, I tried it out. It wasn't for me. I don't care anymore about what other people think should make me happy. I don't define what happiness is to me by other people's definitions. You know what I mean? Like, society tells you like having a big house and like a big bank account and traveling everywhere. No, don't get me wrong. I do want all those things. But like, society tells you that like you have to have like X amount of followers online and you have to have like all this money saved up. Like, first of all, I'm 23. Can we talk about that? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would love to have like a lot of money in my savings and I want to travel and I want to do a lot of like really fun things in my life, and I will. But I'm 23. I don't need to have it all together at goddamn 23, you know? And it's like, I'm comfortable with not having that right now because there's a time for everything, you know? So once I realized that, like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not ever gonna have like 1 million followers on Instagram. One, I don't care because I don't want all that attention on myself. Like, that feels very stressful to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as I'm getting older, I realize like as outspoken as I am and as comfortable as I am with like certain amounts of attention, I'm also like a very private person and I like to be in control of when I receive attention. I don't want attention on me every single second and I have no control over it. Like, that sounds like that's like a death sentence to me. Like, no thank you. So like, once I realized like, okay, like what society defines as extraordinary and what an extraordinary life looks like, that's not necessarily what I personally need in order to feel fulfilled and purposeful in my life. I started thinking about what does. So I'm like, why am I chasing this idea of happiness that doesn't even resonate with me? Like, I'm wasting my time. What I did was like very simple. I honestly just kind of wrote down a list of characteristics that I would like to have that would make me feel proud of myself every time I looked in the mirror. I stopped thinking about what being a good person or a good member of society looked like to society. Like, fuck what anyone thinks. What will make me feel good about myself? What qualities can I incorporate? What things about myself can I change to make me feel good about who I am and good about my life? For example, I used to be like a massive people pleaser, and that resulted in me lying a lot because when you're people pleasing, you kind of shapeshift and mold yourself into another person in order to not step on anyone's toes and to appease everybody. My ideal person, like, I don't like people pleasers. Like, I don't want to be a people pleaser. Like, it's annoying. I want to be authentic. I want to be honest, and I don't like lying. I want to stop lying to people and undermining myself. So I just started being like really honest with people and setting boundaries, and whether I hurt someone's feelings or not, over time, it didn't really matter to me because when I looked at myself in the mirror, I felt more proud of myself for speaking my truth than I would have if I had just went along with something that didn't feel right to me. I wanted to be more attentive to my relationships. I'm someone who loves relationships, and I mean all types, like not just romantic, like friendships, you know, family relationships. I really value my relationships with people. But for a long time, I was neglecting that. And so I felt unfulfilled in that department of my life. And so I decided, like, you know what? I would love to be someone who, you know, people can rely on, someone who isn't afraid to express their love for the people in their lives. And so I just started doing it. Like, I would randomly text my best friend, I love you, heart, heart, heart. You know, I made sure to prioritize at least once a week. I had to see at least one friend and spend quality time with them. I began responding to people more consistently. Like, I'd get a text, and instead of being like, okay, I'll respond to it later, I would respond right away. I wanted people to know that I'm paying attention to you and you're on my mind and I care about you. Because before, I was so in my own head, and it wasn't that I didn't care before, but it was like I was so in my own head and so concerned about me, and like getting ahead in life, that like I was neglecting the people that support me and love me, you know? And like, I don't want to be that person. I honestly just like stopped trying to fit a mold that didn't resonate with me. I wanted to be like more open to love again. So I started dating. That's been fun. I'm a pretty ordinary person. Like, I have a very ordinary life. You know, I have a full-time job. I go to work. I hang out with my friends. I work on my passion projects. I save my money the best way I can. And I'm happy with that, you know? And this doesn't mean that I don't have big dreams. It doesn't mean that I'm working any less hard to get there. But I think that, well, taking a step back for yourself and asking yourself, what is it in your life that you can change right now to make you feel purposeful is so important. For example, I told myself I want to be more spontaneous. Like, I am a spontaneous person, but mainly when I'm drinking. But I was like, you know what? If I have like a random idea, why don't you just go do it in that moment? So for example, you might find me at a bar after work on a Tuesday. I like to try different coffee shops in the mornings before work. I really want to get back into working out, so I plan on starting my running journey soon. It's little things like that that are making me like love my life so much more. And I think like the main thing that I did was aside from not comparing myself to anyone anymore and knowing my truth and what I want, I really just started being more present in my life. Like, I started being more mindful of everything that I already do have, and anything that I didn't like, I changed. Or if there was something that I felt like could be better, I just decided to enhance it. That has made me feel so much better and so much happier than I think any follower count or bank statement could do for me. And I'm not saying, again, like money and stuff like that doesn't matter. It does. But that's not the key to my happiness and what keeps me going every single day. Realizing that has been wonderful, because now it's like I have that foundation. I know that in the grand scheme of things, whether I get to where I want to be, whether my dreams come true or not, right? I still have a family. I still have friends. I still have people who love me, which is amazing. I still have my health, and I cherish that. I still have a roof over my head, and I'm thankful for that. I can still go down the block and get a coffee, and I can still read books, and you know what I mean? Like, I have these really very simple, everyday things that we take for granted, but I'm so thankful for that. So now that's my foundation. So when I decide that I'm gonna, chase my big ass dreams, I know always in the back of my head, like, even if this doesn't work out, like, I still have this. And guess what? You're extraordinary. What society defines as extraordinary, that doesn't make you extraordinary. It doesn't make anyone better than you for having more followers or having more money than you. It doesn't. That shit is material, and I do believe that people use that in order to fill a void that they haven't learned to fill themselves yet, with their own self-love and their own self-purpose. And they're on their own journey, and I don't shit on anyone for that. But that stuff to me, at least, me personally, it's cool, the benefits are awesome, but if I can be happy, like sitting alone in my overpriced ass room in Brooklyn, reading a book with a candle lit, if I can feel happy doing that, that like feels like enough for me. You're extraordinary on your own just by being a person. You're interesting. Like, humans are naturally interesting. You don't need to have all of these crazy material things to be interesting at all. I think the overall message is that it's okay to be ordinary. There's nothing wrong with being basic. There's nothing wrong with being comfortable working a 9-to-5 job. There's nothing wrong with not having 6 streams of income. It's preferable, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be internet famous. It's totally fine. This is your life, and you should take it in and appreciate everything that you do have right now, exactly where you are, because you're not going to be where you are right now forever. So just try to enjoy it, try to romanticize it, try to make it the best life ever, because as far as most of us know, we have one life, and I just never want to like look back on my life and regret not really living it, you know? It's totally fine to be fucking ordinary. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was just like a little message from me to you. I like to have these conversations with myself. I'm sorry, I'm sweating. I like to have these conversations with myself in the mirror, like these little pep talks. I honestly am filming this for myself. When I feel overwhelmed one day because I start comparing myself again, I can look back at this and be like, dude, it literally doesn't matter. Like, you have everything you need right now. This is your foundation. This ordinary life of yours, which is extraordinary, these beautiful things, like, this is what life is really about. The boredom that sparks the creativity, gratitude, your connections, the people in your life, your health, like, these are all things that really matter. These are all like life or death things. These all make your soul feel good. Like, listening to music, to me, like, I've been listening to music so much more lately, and I don't think anything makes me feel more like at home, or like nothing else transcends me into like an out-of-body experience the way music does, or the way love does, you know? Like, that shit, that matters, that's important, and that's meaningful. So yeah, if you're not where you want to be, don't sweat it so much. Like, you're gonna get there. You will absolutely get there, and continue to dream big, but don't place your value in things that don't make your soul feel good. If getting 1 million Instagram followers makes your soul feel good, chase it, you know? But if you also feel like really happy when you're just making a meal with someone that you love, or you're really excited about a new book, or you love to write or paint, or like that, those little things that just make you feel like all giddy and happy inside, like, that stuff is what matters, and that's fine. Don't let someone else's idea of what success is or what happiness is stunt your growth or make you question what your idea of it is. If you know who you are, and you know your morals and your values, you know what you stand for, you know your truth, you've studied yourself enough to know what makes you happy, like, then don't be ashamed to say, well, that's cool for you, but that's not what I'm interested in. I like what I like. What's meaningful to me is what's meaningful to me. And like, own it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you like this vibe. I will see you in, I don't even know when, but I'll see you later. Bye.